I sprinkled on it a little earlier, but let me talk about a little bit more about it in detail. Find mentors and people who are better than you. Here's the deal. This is a real life example. As I mentioned earlier, I used to love playing video games. Now, I only play video games in really moderation, and it's only really with when my girlfriend's home, and she's only home maybe 2 days out of the week when she's not working. So we only play it, and then we only play it once a week. Anyway, my point is this: I loved video games. I used to play them all the time. I still love them. I just don't make time for them anymore, right? Because you don't make money doing them, right? And I remember I thought I was so good. I thought I was one of the best at a game called Street Fighter. And I'm sure you've heard of it. Very, very popular game that most people heard of. So I thought I was really good at Street Fighter. And my cousin, I didn't know that he played either. And my cousin Howard, he would play Street Fighter also. And when I first played him, he kicked my butt. He destroyed me. And I couldn't believe the things that he was doing with Ryu and Ken and Dalsim and M. Bison, all these characters. I couldn't believe the things he was doing. And then the real stunner was when he brought me to a Las Vegas arcade that doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, called Mary Kay's. He brought me to Mary Kay's for the first time. It was like 1 in the morning. At this point in age, I'm probably realistically 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. And I rode on his bike, on his handlebars, and we get to the arcade at 1 in the morning, something insane, something that my mom probably doesn't know exists. She wouldn't care now, but at the time, I'm sure she would not be happy. And we go to this arcade where they, and I'm not exaggerating, they had 10 Street Fighter machines, all back to back to back to back to back. And every single one of them had 5, 6, 7 people in each one, all ready to play. And these people, I couldn't be one of these people. These people were truly the best of the best of the best. And they were doing things that Howard didn't do either. And it was crazy because then I started sleeping at Howard's house every week because I just couldn't stop playing. And then he would bring me there, and he would get progressively better and better and better. I wasn't getting better, I wasn't learning, but because he was playing people who were better than him, he by default started to get better. You guys get that? He by default would get better. And then next thing I knew, a few months later, when all those people were the good ones, all of a sudden my cousin Howard, he became the good one. And it was crazy because this whole story comes around again when the next game that came out that I really got into was called Killer Instinct. And it was at the arcade, same thing at the same arcade. And then I became one of those people that spent 1/4, and I would be there for, without exaggeration, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I only spent 25 cents because no one could beat me. But the game was so popular, it just kept on going and going and going and going. And it's amazing because when you surround yourself by people who are better than you at what you already do, you're gonna get even better. If you're already amazing at what you do, and then you find other people who are amazing also at what they do, you both will actually elevate yourselves to the next level. Remember, if you have a skill set, whatever it is, and you feel like you're not learning anything anymore, that's because you stopped learning. You need to be around people who are better than you, right? So it doesn't matter what the subject is. If you're a cook and you feel like everything's just like generic now, this is how you do everything, you need to put yourself in an environment where you're around other people who are better than you or just as good as you, but they cook different. They have different habits than you. They do things in a different way, and then now you can start learning how they do it. Now you can start putting it into your arsenal of how you cook. That's why you hear that the most amazing chefs, when you ask them or when you hear stories about where they've been all over the world. Because they learn how to cook in China, they'll stay there for 90 days. They'll literally go to China for 3 months of their life, learn from whoever's the best in China, and let all that drape up on them. They'll learn from them. Then they'll go to Italy and literally stay there for 3 months and learn from a chef in Italy who's known as the best, and cook with that person for the next 90 days, every single day, 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and learn from them. Over 90 days times 3 meals, they're gonna learn all those meals on how to cook, and then now they have those traits. And that's how you get good at whatever you get good at. So if you ever feel that you do something and you're just like, I'm not really growing anymore, that's probably the problem. You're not learning from other people anymore. You're just doing what you do, but you're just doing it the exact same way. And if you're not growing, then you become stagnant. And if you become stagnant, you're still back in the middle, and you're not better than anyone else. You just do what you do, and that's all you do. So if you wanna grow, find mentors and people who are better than you.